Monday, May 6. China will be the first to report on important economic events next week. At 4:45, the report on the Services Purchasing Managers Index is expected. It is calculated based on the results of a survey of managers responsible for purchasing in more than 400 companies. The sample of companies is compiled according to the company's contribution to China's GDP and a standard industry classifier. The growth of service PMI may have a favorable impact on the yuan exchange rate. At 12 o'clock, Eurostat will publish the Producer Price Index. It characterizes the change in the price of goods produced within the euro area and sold on the domestic market in the reporting period compared to the previous one. TPI is used as an early indicator of inflationary pressure in the economy. The growth of the indicator may have a positive impact on the euro. Tuesday, May 7. Australia will be at the center of traders' attention on Tuesday. At 8:30, the Reserve Bank of the country will announce the interest rate decision. This is one of the most important events determining the country's monetary policy. The interest rate is usually reduced when it is necessary to increase inflation to the target level. Accordingly, the decision to raise it leads to an increase in the currency price. In addition, at 17 o'clock Canada will report data on the Purchasing Managers Index. The indicator is calculated based on a survey of purchasing managers of private and public sector companies. Respondents answer questions about whether the situation with purchases, employment, inventories, supplies and prices in their area improved, worsened, or did not change in the reporting period. A rise in the index could have a positive impact on the Canadian dollar. Wednesday, May 8. At midnight, the Central Bank of Brazil will announce its interest rate decision. The Selic Special Settlement and Custody System rate is the main interest rate of the Brazilian economy. Almost all interest calculations in the market are based on it. From the consumer's point of view, Selic is of great importance in relation to loans, financing and financial investments. Also on this day, market players will be interested in the USA. There, at 17:30, the Crude Oil Stock Exchange will be reported. The data provided in the report describes the supply and distribution of crude oil and petroleum products in the US, divided into several resource management areas. An increase in the number of crude oil stocks in storage in the United States indicates either a decrease in demand for the commodity or an increase in production. This has a negative impact on global oil prices. Thursday, May 9. On May 9, the Bank of England's Monetary Policy Committee will meet and announce the interest rate decision at 2 o'clock. The meetings, which determine the country's monetary policy, are held 8 times a year, each lasting 3.5 days. Decisions on the interest rate of the Bank of England directly affect the pound sterling. Decisions to raise it lead to an increase in the price of the British currency. Following the UK, Mexico will determine its monetary policy on this day. At 22 o'clock, the regulator will announce the interest rate decision. This is one of the country's most important economic events. The Governing Council of the Bank of Mexico makes the decision 8 times a year at monetary policy meetings. An increase in the interest rate leads to an appreciation of the Mexican peso, while a decrease leads to a depreciation. Friday, May 10. On Friday, at 4 o'clock in China, it will be known about the volume of loans issued by the People's Bank of China. This statistic characterizes the total volume of new loans, in yuan, issued by banks in China to individuals and enterprises during the reporting period. The growth in the volume of issued loans increases the amount of money in circulation in the country and stimulates economic development. Therefore, most often, the growth of the indicator is favorable for the yuan. The final economic event of the next week will be the report on the change in employment in Canada. It will be published at 15:30. The report reflects the change in the number of full-time and part-time workers. The interpretation of the indicator depends on the context. The growth of full-time employment is usually interpreted as a favorable factor in the development of the economy and the national currency.